In Panola County, we're not real gentle with our equipment. We needed some equipment that would be able to take a beating and keep working. My name is Daniel Cole. I work for Panola County Emergency Operations. I am the director. I'm also chairman of the Panola County E911 board. Panola County has a population of about 37,500 people, about 710 square miles total. We dispatch for 14 fire departments and 5 law enforcement agencies. For years, Panola County has just been comprised of just a hodgepodge of radios and radio systems. Basically, when we conformed to their FCC regulations, we were not able to communicate anymore. We had about a 5-mile area that we could communicate, and that was it. So it forced our hand. It was just not safe. You know, we had officers that were getting out on traffic stops and couldn't communicate with other officers or our dispatch center. We had a subject that had been pulled over by one of the municipalities that we dispatched for. While on the stop, the officers noticed some irregularities and a firearm in the vehicle, and when he called for help, they took off, and it resulted in a pursuit, a chase that resulted in several agencies being shot at by the fleeing vehicle. When they bailed out, there was a foot pursuit, but nobody could talk to anybody. Everybody was on their own system and nobody could communicate with each other. We narrowed our search down to two different vendors, and when the dust settled, we ended up with Tait, and since implementing the Tait radio, since bringing them online and everybody using them, we have 0 complaints. Everybody loves them. Consoles, we wanted redundancy, and we also, in the process, it was suggested to us to, if at all possible, have one person to take care of all of our needs. And with Tait and Avtec partnering together, that provided that for us. Because we already had the Tait radios, it just seemed like the right thing to do was to go with the Avtec consoles.
A couple weeks ago, we got struck by lightning during a bad storm in Panola County. I believe it was the second hit. I know that we've taken one hit before. We got the Avtec and Tait radio equipment. The first time we got struck, we lost everything. This time, the lightning actually hit the jail, came through the phone lines, and got a lot of our equipment, in addition to 2 dispatchers who were fine.
And of everything that went down, the console stood the test, and it, I think, is largely to credit Avtec for the redundancy that they built into their system, because it was the only thing that kept working after the lightning struck.
Even an act of God, like this building continually getting struck by lightning, our equipment was perfectly fine.
Since purchasing our radio, we actually burned one up. It fell off in a fire. The antenna, the knobs, the speaker front, and all was cracked and broke, but we put a new antenna on it, and the battery was still up, and we pushed to talk, and we could still talk to Jackson on a radio that had no knobs, and the antenna was burnt off. And to me, that speaks volume of the product. Going with Tait and Avtec saved us over $800,000 of taxpayer money, and when it came down to it, it was just the right thing to do. We've not had any problems. We actually have Tait radios that work in areas where we've never had communication before. I am personally 100% confident, based on what we've done. We've responded to calls within our county. We've responded to neighboring counties for some search and rescues that involved several state and even the National Guard, where we were all communicating together. We all operate on different radios, different brand radios, and Tait radio has never failed. We have, on several occasions, including our lightning strike, called both Tait and Avtec with questions, and they 24 hours a day, we've gotten immediate response.
They are so helpful. Anything that we needed for them to do, any accommodations that we needed, they got right on it.
We've never been turned down, and they've never gotten off the phone with us until our situation, our problem was resolved. It's impeccable, second to none.
I think that they're fantastic, beautiful to work with, wonderful, helpful, and accommodating. That's so important to be accommodating.
I would recommend Tait and Avtec to anyone that was considering radios.